Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. He also told them this parable. Can the blind lead the blind? Will they not both fall into a pit? The student is not above the teacher, but everyone who is fully trained will be like their teacher. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, "Brother, let me take the speck out of your eye," when you yourself fail to see the plank in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the plank out of your eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. No good tree bears bad fruit, nor does a bad tree bear good fruit. Each tree is recognized by its own fruit. People do not pick figs from thorn bushes or grapes from briars. A good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart, and an evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in his heart. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of.
So we will enter the desert of Lent in just a few days, when each of us receives those ashes on our foreheads, reminding us of our brokenness, sinfulness, need for Jesus' redemption. Today's first Old Testament reading, as well as the Gospel, offer us a few potential Lenten practices, if you will, to help us on the journey towards Holy Week and Easter. The very short passage from the book of Sirach tunes in on the fact that our words, our speaking, most often tells us what is in our minds and in our heart. Our words do often show our faults, our weaknesses, our attitudes, sometimes even our sins. Just as a tree's fruit tells how the tree was cared for, such as being watered, being in the sun, fertilized, and so on, so too our words give evidence to the spiritual care we give or don't give to our minds and our hearts. Do we reflect on the inner attitudes that may need an overhaul, a toning down, an adjustment? Do we nourish our minds and heart with regular and sincere prayer, meditation, spiritual reading, and some sacrifice or penance? As Sirach says, by our words we are tested as to what is truly inside of us. From today's gospel prepared for us by St. Luke comes a popular saying, "The blind leading the blind." Yes, that can easily describe us sometimes. Don't we have that nerve to try to remove a tiny splinter from someone else's eye, while ignoring, as I often say, the lumberyard of planks, faults, and sins in my own eyes, my own mind or heart? This holds true for various roles and vocations in life. A parent, a friend, a teacher, a superior or manager, a friend, a co-worker, even a guide or a healer. Though it is true that we all have our own weaknesses, faults, sins, and rough edges, if we are to be true to the gospel challenge from Jesus, we need to address our own need for growth, change, and clear eyes. then we can patiently help others along their way. So let's gear up for this Lent by working on our own splinters, logs, and clouded vision. Let's watch our words to be sure they are not fake, but convey any and all goodness, patience, and peace that we cultivate in our own hearts. Imagine if this alone was our goal for this Lent, to make real the challenge of Jesus in his words shared with us by St. Luke today in the Gospel. A good person of the store of goodness in his or her heart produces good. Our own Father Francis of Assisi used to say to his friars, "Brothers, while we have time, let us do good."
Będziesz kochał Pana Boga Twego z całego serca swego, z całej duszy swojej, ze wszystkich swoich sił. Połóż te moje słowa jako znamię na Twych rękach, jako sobie między oczy, na oczach domu i na Twoich bramach. Shema Israel, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Słuchaj Izraelu, Shema Israel, słuchaj Izraelu, Shema Israel, Pan jest naszym Bogiem, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ojcze Twym synom Izraelu, będziesz o nich mówił, domu i w podróży, idąc spać i wstając rano. Oto pierwsze przykazanie życia, a drugie jest mu podobne. Miłuj bliźniego jak siebie samego, zachowaj je, a będziesz żył na wieki. Shema Israel, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Słuchaj Izraelu, Shema Israel, słuchaj Izrael.